let's bring in Pete Thompson here. Of course, the PT here. I think, Pete Thompson, did you get to watch any of the football yesterday?
Mike Gill, I not only watched football, I was watching Sal Pal right out of the box. I'm never up that early. So I'm in the hospital in Atlantic City yesterday watching like the earliest NFL coverage that could come on, just hoping to get sprung for that red zone. Thanks, as I'm sitting here rehabilitating, having to listen to you call me a fake fan because I love the red zone.
Yes, there you go, PT.
Well, you guys are both proving my point.
No, you're crazy.
Prove your point how? The red zone is awesome. It's like crack, no commercials. Somehow Scott Hansen goes for 6 hours without peeing.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic. He's a robot.
Quad box, octo box. I love it. Look, if the Eagles are playing, I go with the Eagles first. And to your credit, Mike Gill, yes, I did watch a lot of the Giants game. I love to see the Giants struggle. That's always a good thing. And I watched a lot of the Dallas game, too, because those were on the network channels. Those were easy to watch. But I'm still going to use that red zone as a buffer to just continue to try and not see any commercials and absorb as much football as humanly possible.
Yeah, see, the red zone should be the mechanism you go to when the game on television goes to commercial. Then you give the flip over to the red zone, checking what's going on the other games. It shouldn't be your go-to number one.
You're crazy.
Right, but if you're on the red zone as your go-to number one, then you never are having a commercial, and there never is an opportunity to really flip away, per se. It just depends on what your appetite is.
Yeah. Well, again, I like to get into a game. I like to get to, the flow of a game, the feel of a game, get to the guts of a game a little bit. I tried the red zone. I used to watch the red zone. I said I can't get into a Sunday football game. I want to get into that game. I used to try to watch that red zone. I just couldn't. I couldn't. It did nothing for me.
That does surprise me. I will say this. If there's one piece of red zone that you do want to watch, it's before they go off the air where they show every touchdown from every game. That segment alone, whether it's 4 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it is, if you watch that segment alone, you're all caught up in your fantasy, and you kind of feel like you're caught up in the league. And, you've spent, 4 minutes instead of like a whole game.
This guy texts in, I'm with you, MG. Red zone doesn't do it for me. I'd rather watch the game. I'm surprised. I feel that more people, mainly because I feel most people are not real hardcore fans. I think most people are fantasy fans, and they are into the red zone. Like, I look at the people who are into the red zone as people who care about their fantasy more than they do about football.
Well,
and I care about the football game itself. I care about the game itself more than I do my fantasy. I got my computer up in front of me. The numbers go, and I don't need to watch it like live. I can see the numbers going. So that's why we used to watch that red zone with my fantasy league, and I said, I can't stand this. I just want to watch a game.
Well, there's two schools of thought. I mean, look,
everything that you complain about, Mike, with football is not a factor with red zone. Like the stoppages, the penalties, it's just straight action, and you have your finger on the pulse for the entire league. You know what's going on in the Steelers game, the Patriots game.
I don't care about
any
those
games on.
I care about yesterday. I cared about the Giants game. That's
I
cared about.
Oh, week one, I care about the league. I care about what every game's doing.
I'm watching the highlights for those later on in the night. On Sunday afternoon, I cared number 1, the Giants, number 2, Dallas, number 3, Washington. They're the 3 games that I cared the most about. And then the Saints, watching the other NFC games. But again, I watch ESPN at 7 o'clock when they do the highlights for those games that are on television. Gil, you clearly don't get how the red zone works. No, I clearly know how it works. It's not a football game. That's the text message. You clearly don't get how it works. No, I fully understand how it works. I don't care for it. I like watching an actual game, not snippets, 8 seconds of a game. I like watching a real game. I clearly understand how it works. I choose not to watch it. I don't even have the channel. I don't even pay for it.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people do, and I know I do, and Ryan and I are in that camp. So I guess, hey, there's no right answer here. My father's 80. He bought it for a season, thought it was great, and then all of a sudden he realized, I don't. Take a game like yesterday. That Chargers game and the Chiefs game was a hell of a football game, right? And you're not going to see that on your regular television. And you're not going to see Patrick Mahomes slinging it all over the yard. Now, I was more interested in that because I had Phillip Rivers. But I still also got to see all the Patrick Mahomes stuff. Yeah, I'll give you your point. yes, I was interested in it because of fantasy. But it was a great game that I wouldn't have seen if I didn't have Red Zone.
All right, man. So how you feeling? We saw so the other night, let me give the listeners a little background. Friday night, I'm hanging out. I get a text message that says, I got to read this text message. It was very formal.
It was concerningly formal. That's a word. It was. You screenshotted that and sent it to me before I found out exactly what happened. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, I got Pete Thompson seems to have been injured on the sidelines at the EHT game, and the game has been delayed. I responded, is this for real? And then I got, they are taking him off in a golf cart. And then I got, Pete broke his left arm. And then I got a X-ray shot of your arm. I mean, this all happened within about an hour's time here. So at first I was like, this is a joke, right? He got injured at the football game. And then I comes to find out that this is actually true, because then you know what happened? I did a search for Pete Thompson on Twitter, and I started to see people say, hey, my thoughts are going out to Pete Thompson and all this stuff. So it's amazing how fast that kind of reached social media. But so tell us what happened.
So I'm at the Egg Harbor Township Ocean City game. That is true. And I'd already shot Atlantic High and Vineland earlier and shot those highlights, shot them fine, drove over to my second game. I get in there, and I'm on the sidelines, and EHT's moving left to right. And the kid, I'm trying to remember, it was number 21 for Egg Harbor Township that caught the football. So he's coming at me, and as I see him making the break, I can tell that he's got a chance to score, right? So your fastest path to the end zone, I know, is right up the sidelines, you know. So he's breaking toward the sidelines, and I'm thinking, like, oh, this guy's got a chance. Stephen Canello is the kid's name, right? And so I take a half step back as he starts to come towards me. What I don't see on my right, because I'm blocked by a viewfinder, a camera, and, you know, my eye is basically focused on the play, is the kid Brandon Lashley for Ocean City, who's hustling over to make the play. Well, he pushes Canella out of bounds. They're both going at full speed, and he pushes Canella right into me. And so I fall backwards. I land on my left arm. I break my left arm in the process. I don't realize that I've broken my left arm. I hit my head. I kind of bounce off the field turf a little bit. The PT rolls over to his right and tries to get up. And I happen to go down right in front of this Dr. Matt Pepe, who's from Rothman, who was right there, and Q Lee, who's the Egg Harbor Township trainer. And they both were like, stay down, stay down. And I'm looking to my left, Mike Gill, and I'm like, where the hell is my left arm? Like, I'm trying to get up, and I can't find my arm. And that's because it's hanging behind me like a wet noodle.
PT, how long have you been covering games, just to give the listeners an idea? And then has anything like this ever happened at all before for you?
That's a good question. I've been covering high school football, college football, pro football. It's 24 years I've been covering football at all different kinds of levels and shooting highlights on the sideline. So people down here know the Friday Night Blitz and all that time, but I've been covering way before that. And, you know, the first year that I was back here in the area, Ryan, was that 2004 Eagles season. They ended up going to the Super Bowl, TO. And I want to say one of those home games, it was either Chad Lewis or L.J. Smith. There was a play up at the link, and, you know, for TV 40, I used to be able to go up and shoot highlights on the sideline. And there was a play where, like, the guy was coming, and at the link, you were really, like, shoulder to shoulder. I mean, you didn't have a lot of room to move around. You don't have a lot of freedom. And, like, at the last second, a guy was about to hit me, and somebody, like, blocked him out of the way, actually, and he went to my left. But I could feel, like, the wind, you know, I could feel, like, you know, like that sound as the guy went by me, and I definitely remember thinking, like, good Lord, that was like a car. Like that, like if that guy had hit me, that would have been like an accident, like a car accident. And sure enough, 14 years later, I got to feel like what it was like if the guy actually did hit me, sadly. It's ironic to me because I've shot so much football for so long and never been hit. I guess it was just my time. Bad luck. My time was up.
I saw pictures of this, and all of them you seemed very calm. Like, at any point, were you in, like, any pain, or
were you in shock?
Well, I was in shock, that's for sure, because, like, I'm laying on the ground, and the referees come over. That was very nice. They came over to stop the game, and, like, Richie Sakosha said, come on, man, we're holding the game up for you. He's like, no, take as long as you want. I'm kidding. And Bob Willman came over and smiled at me, and Mike Pellegrino, who's the Egg Harbor Township athletic director, said, I have your camera. And I actually rolled to my right and said that he was going to pick it up. I said, well, let me turn it off first. So the camera was still rolling, guys. Like tonight on the locker room, Mike Frankel's going to host the show by himself, but on 789 HD from 7:30 to 8, you want to watch the play? You want to see what it's like to get hit? That's going to be the A element right out of the gate. He's going to lead with that and show the play where, because it kept recording. So how was I calm, Mike Gill? I guess I was in shock. There's a picture.
Like when you fell down, the initial impact, and you used your left arm to kind of brace your fall, there was nothing like, oh, that hurt.
Oh, yeah, definitely it hurt, but you just aren't sure, like, what hurts, that it's that natural tendency of, like, all right, I've fallen, now let me check and see what's attached or what isn't. And unfortunately, my left arm was hanging behind my back, and I didn't realize it at the time. But yeah, I mean, there's a picture of me where they're putting some ace bandage on me, and I'm just I'm not even wincing. I'm just PT looking like, what are you doing there?
Yeah.
When we got to the hospital, and they had to manipulate my arm to take X-rays and do a CAT scan, I was very much in discomfort. That I cannot tell. But I got a pretty high threshold for pain. I mean, geez, Mike, I worked with you for 3 years.
Well,
sticks and stones.
So what's the prognosis? I mean, you're just starting your new job. I mean, what's next?
Right. Upper body injury, 6 weeks. Upper body injury, day-to-day. Coachy's been texting me. I've had some really fun some text messages, too. Yeah, my new job at ACIT, they've been great so far. And you're absolutely right, Mike. I mean, here you have a situation where we had 2 days of in-service last week on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then I taught for 2 days. I taught Thursday and Friday. And then, boom, I go out and get myself hurt, So, I mean, that the timing really sucks. But, I'm so thankful to them and you guys for spreading the story out there so people know what's going on. And SNJ, too, they've been very helpful and comforting. So, here's a couple of these lines. My boss at ACIT said that he's been telling people that not only did I lose yardage, but I fumbled the camera, too. Then the next line he texted, he said, also, the trainer came over and said, take his helmet off. Wait, that's his head?
Oh, that's a good one.
That one's my favorite so far. By the way, what is the actual diagnosis?
It's a broken left humerus bone, so a left humerus fracture, although there's nothing funny about it. And 6 weeks, about 6 weeks, minimum 6 weeks recovery. So
yeah, I have a feeling that Dr. Kevin McHale on Thursday will be breaking this injury down with us here on the Sports Bash.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I'd like to hear Dr. Kevin McHale's take on it. The one funny thing is, and you bring up doctors, Mike Gill, so here I am, I'm in Atlantic Care in the hospital in the city campus, because they're great trauma people there, and I said Matt Pepe sent me in, and it was Basilowitz was my surgeon, my trauma surgeon, but there's a guy in that hospital. Would you believe, Mike Gill, that there is a Dr. Peter Thompson?
That is...
He's a trauma surgeon at Atlantic Care, and he's like a rock.
Was he the guy that worked on you?
No, he didn't work on me, but he works on that floor, the floor that they put me on, the trauma floor. And so I've been hearing about this guy for years, and he's been hearing about me for years. So Peter Thompson finally got to meet Peter Thompson, so that was pretty fun, too.
That's awesome.
Is the video? Yeah. Does the video have any viral possibilities?
A listener just sent us the video to the text board.
Oh, great! Yeah, good. It's out there. It was on Huddle. Huddle, the high school football website. Huddle had it first and foremost, and they had the up high camera shot. So that's what I posted on my Facebook page. If you're faint of heart, I maybe don't watch the very, very end because that's where my arm is comparable to Tyson's leg. Clearly not supposed to go in that position. But
PT,
yeah,
after
did you watch the games from the hospital bed yesterday?
I got out about 4 o'clock, so I was watching the early games from the hospital bed, and that sucks too because you're watching it in regular definition. You don't have you can't rewind the TV. You can't talk to the remote.
Do they have Red Zone?
They did not have red zone. No, but I can't say enough good things about. There's a lot of people too that'll be like, "Oh God, don't go into the city." No, they were very well prepared for me. That's where you want to go if you're really messed up, and I was pretty messed up. It was a clean break. You guys saw that image too. I mean,
looked like a twig.
There was a lot of people I would text the X-ray to, and I was trying to joke with them and say, I can't really even understand why they did surgery. You could barely see the fracture, and of course, then I text the picture, and there's just this obvious gap between one part of the bone and the other part. No doubt I did something wrong.
Yeah. Are you going to be, just like the media asked the players after an injury, are you going to be hesitant, or how are you going to be mentally tough enough to just get right back into the game? Are you going to be hesitant getting back onto the sideline the next time you do, or this is just in your blood?
Well, I'm glad, there's a lot of people, Ryan. It is in my blood. There's a lot of people that have said to me, I think it's time for you to start shooting the highlights up top. Stop putting yourself in harm's way, move up top. But if I did that, and Mike Gill knows this, if you're up in the press box, you're not down there to hear the secondary coach yell at the safety for blowing the play, or you're not there to hear the referees. The number one thing that I love to do is shake hands and talk to people on the sideline.
Yep.
You can't do that if you're up in the press box.
Right, PT's not really there working. He's there just to socialize.
I'm not doing it all. I'm working and socializing.
Well, are you back on the sidelines Friday night, or will you not be ready to go?
Oh, I'm taking all the 6 weeks. I'm going to get back to hosting the show next week. And in fact, I'm glad you brought that up because, Mike Gill, I'm supposed to be calling in to hanging with Hendricks and Hennig tonight, and I'm on the DL for that. So thankfully, Scott Grayson's going to fill in for me. That's a new thing we're going to be doing for Monday Night Football and preview that. So I got to miss week 1. That ticks me off. But, I want to be out at Mountain Bar at Wild Wild West and talking about sports betting and Monday Night Football. And then I'm also going to miss the SNJ show this week. Now, next week, I'm going to be back. I'll host the show because I can still edit highlights. I can do that. I can host a show. I just can't stand on the sideline. I'd say
this is like a dream come true.
What, continue to get paid for less work? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like me, Mike Gill. It's like me.
It's exactly the way you would ask for it.
I got great calls, though. I mean, I can't tell you, Barrett Brooks called me this afternoon. Derek Dunn's been texting me. All my Comcast people. I'm hearing from all sorts of people. I heard from 2 guys that I worked with in Lincoln, Nebraska in 1998. Both of them on a group text message reached out to me to check how I was doing and said, we didn't teach you like that. You got to move out of the way. You got to open your other eye. Come on, feet. What are you doing? So, I mean, I hadn't heard from those guys in 20 years. And they both texted me. So I think it's great.
Well, we hope you're feeling better. I know the photos, we'll post them up at our website, 973ESPN.com. And we're certainly thinking of you, man. And, man, unfortunate. But I know that you're probably enjoying the week off if I know you.
Well, I'll get there once the the pain medication is good. I've been trying to stay just on Tylenols and not on the oxys. Stay away from the addicting stuff. And yep, I'll be back. Upper body injury. Don't worry, guys. I'll be back before you know it.
We know you will, man.
All right, man. Well, take care. Rest up.
Appreciate you guys having me on. I miss you too.